Hi, I'm attorney Sherri Stinson, your Palm Harbor estate planning attorney, and I've been helping families in Pinellas and Pasco counties protect what matters to them most for over 20 years. Today, I want to talk to you about probate avoidance and some techniques that you can use. Now, I have to caution you, these techniques have to be used in the right way. And oftentimes, 99% of the time, I see people really just not get these right. So, this is just intended for some general information. When people talk about avoiding probate, they're usually concerned about a couple of things. Number one, they're concerned about the time that it takes to go through that process. Probate always requires assistance of the court, and that process can take 6 months, it can take 2 years. I've seen some take 4, 5, and 6 years. So, one of the tools that we use in probate avoidance is beneficiary designations. And so, what this means is you're giving an instruction to a bank, a credit union about what's supposed to happen to that account when you die. And what it says is, when I die, here's who I want to have this account. Now, the caveat to that is not all beneficiary forms are created equally. And so a lot of times they'll have some limitations, and they often don't also address what happens if you have a beneficiary who dies, but perhaps you never got back to the bank to make a change. Maybe you got dementia, or maybe you just kind of forgot about it. So these tools have to be used in the right way. Now, I have some people who will come to me and they'll say, you know what, Sherri, I'm just going to add this particular child as a co-owner on the account. Now, that can be a tool for probate avoidance, but that too has some problems. So, for example, if you have a co-owner, you don't have sole control over the assets in that account. And so that means perhaps you put a child on because you want them to be able to write some checks when you're in the hospital, but they could go out and take all of that money out if they wanted to. They have just as much right to that money as you do. The other thing that we get concerned about with co-owners is what happens if there's a liability issue of some sort. Maybe the co-owner gets in an accident and they get sued, and now we've unintentionally exposed your assets to their problem. So co-ownership, that can be okay, but we usually only recommend that between spouses and not between adults and their adult children. The other tool that you can use for probate avoidance, and this one is specific when it comes to real property, are certain types of deeds. Now, you have to be careful because a lot of times I'll see people say, I don't want to pay a lawyer to do this certain kind of deed. I'm going to do it myself. I've actually had people call my office and they've accidentally given their property away while they were alive when they really just intended somebody to have that property when they die. So there are other tools for avoiding probate that don't involve trust, but you really should only do these when you've talked to an attorney and you've got somebody experienced guiding you on how to set those up. Now, I'm sure if you have questions, you may think, what do I do next? The next step is give my office a call, or you can even visit my website where I've got a free checklist for some things for you to think about. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to talk to you soon.